You will have ever heard the word of the karma, but you won't answer clearly what it is. If someone asks you what is karma, this word is sometimes introduced to the world in the wrong interpretation. That is the proof which the world doesn't know about the karma so well. The people who take it by mistake understand it as something fearful, vaguely. Then, even the men who know the word of the karma, take it as only one mere Hindu idea. And they think it is. There are no relations to the general people, but it is wrong. Karma is the law which control not only the earth but also the whole universe. Therefore, it has influence to all the people directly. The direct meaning of the karma is a function. One of the Indian words, in Sanskrit, kalman, in Pali, kama. There is a proverb in Japan, "The thing with the cause will be retaliated." It is the word which occurred from the Buddhism in the origin. The cause is meaning the results of the action of the previous life. Retaliation is meaning that we must pay a reward as the compensation. In other words, what you have done in the previous life decide your circumstances of your present life. And there is a proverb, if you have grudge to a person, you must dig 2 holes, too. It tells that the emotion to hate a person, and action and even the power of the notion sometimes hurts a man. And in the worst cases it kills a man. But if someone kill a man, that killer must die, too. It says that, if you have grudge to someone you must prepare 2 tomb holes for that man and for yourself. It has the same meaning of the proverb. A thing with a cause will be retaliated. It is supposed that you throw a ball to the wall. The ball will rebound to you. As well as this, what that person did is returned to that person. But it isn't meaning only the bad thing. If you do something good, the matter that is good will return to you. That is the karma. But both good one and bad one isn't always returned at once. So the general people may not be able to believe this word soon. Though there is the power of the karma, it seems that vicious criminals doesn't necessarily suffer a proper punishment. And though you have done good things, you may feel you didn't have rewards. It is because God is trying a human being in that period. Scoundrels are given the postponement for reflection and improvement, and good persons are tested whether he has actual goodwill or not. Karma is meaning that what a person did is returned to that person, even if it is good or it is bad. But especially, you should recognize it as a word which shows that it is the atonement of the crime which a person committed. Even if we got favor from others, we don't necessarily return him a favor. But we have a tendency to try to take revenge at once when we got damaged by others. We must reform this. This problem isn't confined to the individual. Even if a country was helped by another country, the country doesn't necessarily do suitable things for the other country. But when it is attacked soon, it tries to beat up the other country beyond the blow which it suffered. Christ said like this, "Forgive 70 times of 7. It isn't meaning that you must forgive 490 times. He says, forgive unlimitedly. And Christ said, a person must not take revenge on the person. That is what I do. In other words, it means that person must not take revenge on each other. God only can take revenge on the person. It is really mentioned about the law of the karma. God punishes scoundrels, even if a person doesn't take revenge on others. About the violence and murder, it supposes that there is a man who stabbed someone's breast and killed. He will die in the same way of that person, in this life or the next life. For instance, he will die of the heart disease, or he will die bruising his breast with a traffic accident. He will die as if it is by the accident. He will experience the pain the same as he injured a man. If he strangled a man and killed, he will suffocate and die. If he pushes down a man and killed, he falls from the height, and he will die. About sex, it is the problem of the sex that a modern should be especially care. Even if we are aware that violence and murder are grave offenses, Too many people think that it is no problem whatever we do about the sex. But if you rob from the other, you are taken by force. 2. Not only sexual crime persons, but also the person who does sex with more than one woman robs someone's woman. It is because God gave only one woman to one man, therefore, the man who does sex with more than one woman will be deprived of his lover, or his wife, his daughter in the future. Men have a tendency to take care of only his lover, or his wife, or his daughter. However, he has an attitude that he doesn't mind what may happen to the other person's woman. Even if she went astray, or she is prostitute, he has an attitude that he has no relation with her. Then, they believe that they are forgiven to sex with many number of women, if only they got agreement with her. A lot of men think that they are forgiven to do whatever they want, if it is not immorality, if he is unmarried, or if a sex partner is unmarried. But a woman is someone's daughter. Therefore, you must think that if you stole a woman, you will lose your precious woman. Will there a man who allow have his lover stolen? Will there a man who allow have his wife stolen? God leaves only one woman to one man. The men who is indulging in the greed, and the men who have no discrimination at present, they will wake up, and they will notice the importance of one woman. And it is really decided that they suffer in the future. Don't you know the existence of the refugee orphans of the undeveloped regions? The sinner of sex is reborn as a child who left by parents of the undeveloped regions. This is the karma. Then, this is applicable to the women as well. Sexually unrestrained women won't be able to do happy married life in the future. Or, she may suffer from the sickness. There are many attempted suicides of the young women in recent years, because they don't stand the sexual crime which they have done unconsciously. If the world changes the problem of sex properly, such a thing disappears. About the money and the social position, it will be decided that the rich men and the executive suffers in the future. Though, movie stars, singers, sport players, statesmen, entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers, many other rich men are doing luxurious life. You must not be cocksure that you have luxurious life because of your great efforts. It is because efforts and a result are not necessarily an equality. There are poor men, even if they work hard. There are men who won high social position though they didn't have efforts very much. The men who worked hard and who won high position must not be conceited, because any power was lent to the human being by the God. Even the limbs and the body, isn't it the borrowed thing from God? We human being borrow a body at the time of the birth, and we return it at the time of the death. Therefore, even if you had efforts, you made it by the borrowed power. So, if you take all that money as yours, it becomes karma. Sometimes, we hear the news that a billionaire went bankrupt. They must think it to be rather good, because, as it were, they were given a chance to take back a human heart. If they are being rich all through their life, they may not probably be able to accomplish a long life. More, they will be reborn in the poor person of the poor country in the next life. Even if we don't have high position, if we control others, we must receive the karma. We must guide them without controlling them. From the boss to the subordinates, from the teacher to the students, from the parents to the children, from the older brother and sister to the younger brothers and sisters. Almost all mankind is in the target of the karma at present. Well, the people who is in these circumstances, must they give it up? It is not so. At first, you must begin to understand what is good or the evil. It may happen that what you believe good is the evil, as a matter of fact. If we don't do so, mankind will be swallowed in the circle of infinity pain. But if you stop evil at once, your future pain is eased or it may disappear. As explaining first, God has given a postponement to us. If you change, you are given a chance to recover your life. A life is a existence for that. If it is not so, your life hasn't existed since the beginning. Therefore, you must be penitent all through the life. If you do so, karma will offset, and not possess this knowledge by yourself, to spread it to the world. It decides to reduce your karma. Because, to teach the law of karma to the world is the way to change the people to virtue. If the world changes into virtue, the probability is high that the disaster which befalls to you is avoided. The law of the karma is never new. It has been enacted in the world since the earth was formed. It is not a mere religion idea, but because mankind forgot this law. Battle and war always happened in each place for this several thousand years. One of the doctrines which Buddha and Christ were telling was this, too. The Gnostics of the primitive Christian understood reincarnation, but present Christian denies it completely. Then, this law isn't appreciated clearly even with Indian priests, including the Japanese priests, though they have the idea of reincarnation. We must tell this law to the modern society, in the present day.